welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are still doing well and still staying safe and healthy and happy in quarantine. Today I have a really exciting video. This kind of video is one of my favorites to do. I am doing a what I eat in a day video quarantine edition. I'm basically going to take you guys through all the meals that I made from scratch today, as well as some snacks to show you guys exactly what I'm eating to lose weight. You guys know right now I'm in the middle of a weight loss journey trying to lose 20 pounds. So all my meals right now are lower carb, focusing on protein, focusing on being healthy, nutritious foods that are not boring. One thing I cannot deal with is when people say it's a diet and feel like they have to eat unseasoned chicken breast all the time with boiled potatoes. No, I am always looking for recipes that inject the most flavor, that don't taste like I'm dieting or don't taste like I'm eating healthy, but actually are healthy and helping me get to my goals. So if you guys are losing weight and are kind of like me, you guys will love these recipes too. So without further ado, I don't want to make this intro super long, but let's kick this off with the meals and snacks that I will be eating today. Good morning, guys. We are actually starting off today by making one of my favorite things for breakfast. So what you're going to want to do is preheat your oven to 375, and I am making my famous banana pancakes. Well, I feel like everyone makes these, but I have different variations of the way I make them. Truly, this can be like a 2-ingredient thing. If you literally just use 1 banana and 2 eggs, you're good to go. But I add a little bit of different things into it to make it a little more exciting and add some toppings after. And this is one of my favorite breakfasts when I'm craving something sweet, and it's also healthy because it's literally just fruit and protein from the eggs. So let's get making it. I'll show you guys what I do. Okay, so I'm going to run through the ingredients. These are my base ingredients that I use all the time. You're going to want, excuse my nails, they're so chipped. You're going to want 1 banana. I like to use my bananas when they're getting like this spotty because I refuse to eat bananas like this usually, so it's perfect. 2 eggs. I also like to use a little bit of vanilla extract and then baking powder because this helps it rise. Honestly, if you don't want to do these 2 things, you can literally make this with just these 2, but I do recommend the addition. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your ripe banana and slice it up. I like to use a pretty ripe banana because they're sweeter and then they're easier to mush like we're going to do here. So I just go ahead and mush my bananas up till they're basically banana bread consistency with a fork. I like mine pretty mushy. And once you've mushed them to your desired consistency, you're going to go ahead and place this into a bowl. This recipe is seriously the easiest thing. I could do it with my eyes closed and I love it. So we're going to crack our 2 eggs and plop that right into our banana mixture. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of baking powder because I like mine really fluffy. And for today's edition, I'm adding 1 scoop of 310 vanilla plant-based protein shake. So literally, you add everything to the bowl. This is how it looks. Today, I've just gone with baking powder and protein powder and the vanilla. And then I'm also going to add a few chips, but I don't mix them in. I scatter them before I bake them. So you're going to want to mix this, and then you're good to go. Now, I was out of parchment paper, but you're going to want to put this on top of parchment paper, ideally, if you're baking these in the oven, and they will go into the oven at 375 degrees for about 15 minutes. I check anywhere between 12 and 15. And while they're cooking, I prepare whatever toppings I want to go on, and usually my toppings are fresh fruit. So today, I'm just slicing up a whole bunch of strawberries. These are some Ontario strawberries, and they were so fresh. I love strawberries. They're like my favorite fruit ever. And then once the pancakes come out of the oven, if I'm baking them, I slice them into circles with a cup, add a dollop of plain Greek yogurt, and then add my strawberries on top. So it's kind of like whipped cream and strawberries, and then do a drizzle of maple syrup. I mean, can we just have a moment of appreciation for this breakfast? Like, can you believe that this is all healthy? So you could definitely make those on the stovetop like normal pancakes. Sometimes I do, very rarely, because your girl is lazy. So what I like to do is bake them in the oven 15 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'll just cut circles out of them because your girl doesn't have time to be standing by the stove flipping pancakes. I know a lot of you guys are busy or on the go, so you guys might like that little tip as well. So for lunch, what I like to do personally is meal prep my lunch for the entire week. I know if my lunch isn't meal prepped and I get hungry and there's not a lot in the fridge, I can be tempted to kind of grab anything and it might not be the most balanced meal. So what I personally have been trying to do is have vegetarian lunches. I try to incorporate a lot more veggies because getting veggies into your diet wherever you can is really important. So you guys saw I made a roasted grain and veggie bowl in my last video. Today, what I've been really excited to make are some crispy tofu Buddha bowls. This is something that Buddha bowls. Anyway, this is something I love to make. I love crispy tofu, and it can be used in a variety of ways. So once you make your batch of crispy tofu for the week, you can have some for your lunchtime tofu bowls. I'm just going to call them that from now. But then you can also go ahead and use that crispy tofu in like wraps, or you can make a red Thai curry. You can use it in a bunch of different things. So our crispy tofu that I'm going to make today is baked, not fried, so it's still really good for you. And it has a bunch of awesome seasonings, so it's really flavorsome. Another thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make my own vegan peanut sauce for my Buddha bowl, whatever. Miso peanut dressing is forever my favorite, and I think this really makes these Asian style bowls. So we're starting out with our ingredients for crispy tofu. I love the spicy garlic grinder. It's basically granulated garlic, pink Himalayan sea salt, and garlic. I then have some panko breadcrumbs, some tamari, some cornstarch, and then our seasonings, which are garlic and onion powder for me. And then I'm taking our tofu. This is extra firm tofu that I press between a hard object and paper towels for about an hour to remove all of the moisture. That step is key, and once all the moisture is removed, you can take this out and slice it into equal cubes like I've done here. We are then going to take 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to also have 2 tablespoons of tamari. This is gluten-free, and you could also use low sodium soy sauce if you want, but this is slightly less salty, so I prefer it. And then the key to crispy tofu when you're baking it is to use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and really mix this in, because this is what gives the tofu that crispy coating that you're going to want. And then adding our spicy garlic grinder, as you can see here. And then I'm also going to shake in some garlic and some onion powder before tossing that all together. You really want to make sure everything is as well coated as can be, just because obviously you want the cornstarch to get everywhere so that you can get your tofu to be really crispy. Once it's mixed, it should look a little bit of something like this. And then what I do is I arrange this on a sheet of parchment paper. I like to arrange it so that nothing is touching, or things are not touching as much as possible, just so everything can crisp up beautifully instead of kind of broiling. And I bake this in the oven for about 20-25 minutes, flipping it halfway at 400. While that's cooking, we're gonna make our sauce, and I apologize because my camera settings were off here and I didn't realize, but here are our ingredients. Right here we got garlic, peanut butter, rice vinegar, low sodium soy sauce, liquid honey, chili garlic paste, and then you guessed it, our seasonings. I'm using some ginger, and I'm also gonna use a little bit of miso soybean paste. So I start off by taking 2 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter. This is unsweetened peanut butter, which is what you're going to want to use. I'm then adding a tablespoon of our low sodium soy sauce, 2 tablespoons, I apologize. I go with 1.5 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar because I like a little bit of tang to my dressing, a teaspoon of sesame oil, which I didn't show earlier, and a teaspoon of the chili garlic paste for spice, and then about a 1/2 teaspoon of miso and 2 tablespoons of honey. And then we're just going to go ahead and season that. Don't use any salt. I usually use ginger and then maybe a little pepper, but I've added the chili garlic paste, so you don't need that. And mix that together. I added a little bit of coconut milk here just to thin it out, which is also vegan as well. You can do that, or you could add water and put that in the fridge until your tofu is cooked. So here is my finished bowl. I just did some cucumbers, some tomatoes, a little bit of kale, edamame, some sweet corn, and then we have our crispy tofu right in the middle as our protein. The little peanut sauce that I made, a sesame ginger mayo, and then sesame seeds on top. And that is going to be my lunch. It's pretty low carb. I mean, some people add rice to this. I'm not adding rice because, again, I'm trying to keep it low carb. But you definitely can add some rice or quinoa or some kind of carby starch. But I'm just keeping it all veggies and then the tofu. You've seen my breakfast. You guys have seen my lunch and some of the snacks I eat. Now, I'm someone that really does love to have a little bit of chocolate or a sweet fix. Your girl can murder some chocolate like it's nobody's business. So what I'm gonna whip up now are some energy balls. I have been making these for years. Usually I make them in bar format, but I'm out of parchment paper, so we're gonna roll them into balls, which is aesthetically pleasing today. They literally have 5 ingredients, and you guys, these balls are the perfect sweet fix because they do have a little bit of chocolate in them. I usually have them as a little pick-me-up throughout the day, or sometimes I will use them as a pre or post-workout snack because they do have a little bit of carbs, that little bit of protein, that little hit of energy in them, but they will knock any sweet craving out, I swear. The ingredients for this one are really simple. There's only 5 ingredients. You're gonna wanna take 1 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. These ones are semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I threw a few butterscotch peanut butter ones in there too. This is ground flax seeds, so we're gonna do a 1/2 cup of this also. So we have our flaxseed. I'm gonna take a half cup of flaxseed. Obviously peanut butter. I am doing 2/3 of a cup here. And then 2 tablespoons of honey. All we're gonna do is mix this together. Now sometimes I do squares out of these, so I will put them in a dish and I'll cut squares out later. Or you can go ahead and mix it together, put these in the fridge for about 15 to 30 minutes, and then you can roll them into actual balls, and this will make about 12 balls. So now that this has cooled, we're gonna go ahead and start rolling them. So this should make 12 balls. That's what you wanna aim for so that they're not too high in calories and everything. So you guys, I am just here right now at my computer editing a video for you guys that will already be up. But I want to show you guys another snack that I love to have is just some kind of veggie and dip. Honestly, my go-to, because I usually don't like raw carrots and things, are just some cucumbers. I have some cayenne pepper and some garlic, granulated garlic on there. And then I just like to dip it in hummus. And again, low calorie, really tasty, but this will just tide me over. And this is a good way to have a snack where you don't want to use up a lot of calories, basically, because this is basically just water. Now for dinner, I know I said one of the things I try to avoid are boring things like baked chicken and salads. I know when you hear these things in your head, they can sound boring and like you're on a weight loss journey, but I am someone that loves a good grilled chicken salad. We recently bought a cast iron grill pan because we're not allowed to have a barbecue where Justin and I live, and it has made my chicken game has been up so much. I get those grill marks, I get that nice grilled taste on chicken, and it is to die for. Like, not boring at all. So today for dinner, we're whipping up a Rosemary Dijon chicken salad. This is not your average salad. It's loaded with a ton of stuff like you're gonna see. We're gonna make a bomb-ass homemade dressing, and this salad is gonna be completely healthy, low carb, but 100% delicious. Justin is not on a weight loss journey, and obviously he eats the same meals that I do because I'm making them, and he loved it also and went back for seconds. So that's how you guys know it's good. Every week I try to incorporate a salad at least once or twice, and I try and switch it up and do a new kind. So let me know your favorite salads down below, but I hope this one gives you guys some inspo. So we are starting off with the most bomb-ass Rosemary Dijon dressing. I am using old-fashioned Dijon mustard and taking 2 tablespoons of this. I love this stuff. I'm obsessed. I'm then using a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. Again, this is key in dressings. A 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil as well. And rosemary. This is fresh rosemary that I basically smashed and minced. I'm using a couple tablespoons. Use it to taste. And then I'm adding our spicy garlic in. As you know, I love this in our last recipe. Mixing that together and then letting it cool. We're also going to season our chicken breast as well. I trimmed off the fat of this chicken breast, and I'm using, again, spicy garlic, which I love. And then I'm also going to use some black pepper on both chicken breasts as well. And then I'm gonna hit it with the rest of the fresh rosemary that I chopped up. You're gonna wanna use fresh rosemary, I promise you, because it is so much more fragrant and delicious than the dried kind. So wherever I can use fresh herbs, I can. I do, rather, sorry. And then I use my hand, which is so gross. A year ago, you wouldn't have caught me touching raw chicken with my hands. But when I'm seasoning chicken, this really helps get it into the chicken breast. And I season both sides because we are not about unflavored, unseasoned chicken over here. So I like to make sure I get that in. And then we're gonna put that on a cast iron grill pan on medium-high heat and cook that for about 6 to 7 minutes per side until it's cooked through. But of course, while that's cooking, we're gonna do some work, and we're gonna work on the toppings for our salad. So I'm taking some Axioni cherry tomatoes. You could use grape tomatoes, any tomatoes you use, but I love these ones. They're sweet, they're juicy, and I'm just having them. After our tomatoes, I am using half a red onion, and I am just cutting this up pretty finely, and then I'm gonna mince it into small pieces. I love red onion, but it can be overpowering in a salad. I personally like a lot, so this is pretty much a lot, but I'm mindful of Justin as well. And then I'm also gonna take a cucumber. This is about just over half a cucumber and slice that up as well. Cucumbers in salad are my life. And then once our chicken is ready, it should look a little something like this. And I'm just gonna slice that thinly. How delicious is this chicken? You can see that how juicy it is. And oh, I just wanna eat it through the screen again. Okay guys, so here is our salad. I don't like to put the dressing on the salad and mix everything together until I'm ready to serve. Plus I like to do it individually. So this is just butter lettuce and field greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, and then some red onions. I think I might put some carrots in this just in Justin's portion, but I don't really prefer carrots in my salad. Pro tip, not that I'm a pro chef, but I like putting my homemade dressings into like a squeezy bowl and cut the top off. That way I can actually get a good amount of dressing and I can put it on my individual salad after and refrigerate it. So this is just the dressing we made earlier. You guys know it isn't a video for me without my love for cheese. Cheese is life. Cheese is everything. So we're going to have some goat smoked feta. Again, these things that I'm going to put on individually to taste after. I also cooked some bacon, a couple slices of bacon and crumbled it so we can add our bacon. Again, I like to add bacon myself to the salad instead of dumping this all in this bowl. Obviously, bacon is higher calorie, but again, I do love bacon and don't want to cut it out. So this way I can control how much is on my portion and Justin can deal with his. And then I also made some homemade croutons. These are just made out of a pita bread that I cut into 1-inch pieces, tossed with a little bit of olive oil, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, some Italian seasoning, and salt and pepper. Baked it on the top of the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then you get these crispy croutons. Again, if you don't want to do bread and you want to be completely low carb, cut this out. But again, I can add as many as I want, and then I can save the rest for salads in the week. So yeah, guys, here is the finished salad. This is going to be my supper. This will keep me full. I've got 1 whole chicken breast, a little bit of the bacon. I've got everything in here basically, and I just put the dressing on top, and I cannot wait to dig in because this looks and smells delicious. So yeah, guys, those are the meals and snacks that I'm eating today. Please let me know if you guys want more of this style of video. Actually, in the comments below, vote if you like what I eat in a day video where I show you guys, like I did today, my breakfast, lunch, and snacks and dinner. Or another thing I can do is I can do like 4 healthy dinner recipes where I show you 4 dinner recipes. We can group it by lunch and dinner. So yeah, guys, let me know what your favorite recipe was. Let me know if you're gonna try any of them down below because I would love to see you guys try. And if you recreate anything, make sure you guys tag me on Instagram, Twitter, or here on YouTube. I'm at amynicolaox everywhere, so I will see, and I would love to repost them on Insta stories. And I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys.